Hey there, welcome to Leaders Arise. This is Demola Awoyele. Thank you for always joining me on this platform. I consider it a great privilege sharing with you on leadership and on life generally. And I hope that today's episode will also be a blessing to you. By the way, thank you for always following up with this broadcast. And in case this is your first time of getting on this platform, I want to appreciate you. And I want to assure you that this engagement we're having together will sure be a blessing to you. Last episode of this Leaders Arise broadcast, I began by sharing on what I've captioned, Do Business. Like I told you last episode, I would be continuing on that today and possibly at the next episode from now. Let's talk about business. And the first thought I want to share with you on business today is the fact that business begins with a mindset. So I normally say, even if you are not in business practically, you must at least have the mindset of a businessman. You know, your mindset is very important. I've shared about mindset on this episode, on this Leaders Arise in some episodes ago, so I won't belabor that word mindset. So what do we mean by having a business mindset? It actually means to think in terms of business. It actually means to think like a businessman. It actually means to see like a businessman. Don't forget Proverbs 23 verse 7. The scripture says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you are working for a company as an employee, don't just think as an employee, think as a business owner. How does my boss think? An average employee today is interested in his or her salary. But you need to go beyond just getting salary. Get a mindset. When your boss talks, hear him not as an employee, but as a businessman. You know, most employees today, they are always troubling their bosses. We need a pay rise. The economy is not smiling. Increase our pay. But it takes an employee that thinks as a businessman that will ask himself, okay, how does our boss even fare? How has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted the business of our company? That doesn't mean you shouldn't demand for a pay rise. But when you begin to think in terms of a business owner, it will affect your attitude and your posture towards that business. And listen to me, if you are an employee with a business mindset, you will be a hot cake in your industry. Your boss will adore you, just the way Laban did to Jacob. Jacob was an employee in Laban's animal husbandry or animal company or whatever company. But Jacob, postured beyond just being an employee. He postured as a business owner. No wonder Laban eventually told Jacob, he said, name your wages or name your wage and I'm ready to give you. Why? Because he saw that this guy is beyond an employee. This guy is a business owner. He has the mindset of a business owner. So whether you are working for somebody, or you are working for yourself, or you are a pastor of a local church, or you are a student on campus, no matter who you are, one of the ways to begin to thrive in business is to have a business mindset. So I want to challenge you today, wherever you go, whatever you do, think business. Have the mindset of a businessman, because your mindset will attract your opportunities. When you have the mindset of business or of a business person, you will attract opportunities for business. I will share a very, very, very simple story with you. I read it in one of those books we read on business and motivation. All right, two guys went to one island or one country like that. I'm just want to paraphrase that, just that story. And that place was poverty ridden. People putting on pair of sandals. People were walking barefooted. They were that poor. So two friends went to that country or island. One of the friends says, wow, these people are so poor. This place is looking, is looking so bad. He was looking down on them. They are so poor, they can't even afford a pair of shoes. But the other friend saw the same set of people. He said, wow, these people are not putting on footwear. They aren't putting on any shoes. This is an opportunity to start supplying them shoes. So one of them saw problem, the other person saw what? Opportunities. And what they both saw was actually a function of how they think. The other person thought as a normal person, while the other friend of his thought as a businessman. So when the other person saw people were so poor that they can't afford a pair of shoes, the other friend saw the same people as people who actually need somebody to supply them with a pair of shoes. And I want to ask you today, when you go to places, what do you see? How do you think? COVID-19 pandemic has ravaged the world. Things are changing. Are you thinking about the problem of COVID-19, or you are thinking about the opportunity that COVID-19 has presented to us? As a student, you can be staying in a hostel, all right, that people have to travel long distances. In those days on campus, I know some young people began selling call credits. And I know a lot of them, or some of them, I know a few of them that began because they have to walk distances to get call credits. That has changed now. I don't even see if I know if anybody is selling call credit today. You do your purchase online now. Things have gone so virtual now. But I believe in some places people still sell call credit. They sell these. The other day I wanted to make a call. I ran out of credits and I couldn't access my phone to recharge. No, I couldn't access my phone to recharge. So I couldn't access my phone, but I have the number to call. I know the number by heart. So I needed to call a number. So my phone was dead. I needed to call somebody. All right. So I went to a place that looked like what we call business center, where they sell recharge, call credit. And I said, I want to make calls. I said, no, we don't do that. I said, wow, things have changed. People really go how to make calls now. All right, so like I was sharing, all right, so you see your mates, your colleagues going distances to go get call credit, or even to go get wares. Some of them had to travel to another part of the country or the city to go get wares, and people are complaining we can't even get quality materials in this environment, and they are just nagging and complaining that what kind of environment is this one? Leave them, let them keep talking like that. But if you are a business-minded person, you will start thinking, what business can I make out of these complaints? A business-minded person makes business out of complaints. He sees opportunities in problems. So you can tell them, okay, you need a pair of shoes, you need a three-piece suit, you need some shirt, you need this or that. So he samples everyone that needs this, that, and he gathers their whatever together. He travels to go get those materials. He brings it to the hostel or the company or wherever to them, and of course, he's making money. Now, how was he? I know people that started businesses like that. They didn't even plan to start a business, as it were. But they had a business mindset. People need something. Can I get it for them? Can I help them solve that problem? If I can help them solve that problem, I have put smiles on their faces, but I've also put some money in my pocket. So you've got to think like a businessman. With the money in your hand, think like a businessman. When a businessman holds money in his hand, he's not looking for how to spend it. He's looking for how to multiply it. When an employee gets to a company to work, he's not looking for what salary to collect. He's looking for how to help that business to get better. He's actually positioning himself as a business owner. So, to do business, you've got to have a business mindset. You've got to think like a businessman, make decisions like as a pastor, for instance, because I'm into ministry really, full time for that matter. Anywhere I get to, I just discovered that has been my style unconsciously. If I get an apartment, for instance, now, I think like a pastor. You know the way I think? I ask myself, all right, how can we turn this place to an auditorium? I just think unconsciously, how many chairs can this, let's assume I want to have a branch of our church here, just a normal apartment, maybe 3-bedroom flat, or a warehouse, or wherever, that is not even for church. All right. How many seating capacity, how many chairs can be seated here? If I want to start a church here, where will I put the altar? That was not the plan, but unconsciously, I was just having those thoughts. Why? That is my enterprise, as it were. I'm thinking like a pastor. The same thing for anyone that want to do business, you must think like that. You enter a city, the first thing you spot is, there is no Gari Jebu here. How can we get it to them? Can you imagine? Apology for those who are saying Gari Jebu. You know, cassava flour. There is a coinage that we call Gari Jebu, the one they make in a particular town in this country, in Ogun State of Nigeria, Ijebu. So we know that when the kind of Gari, cassava flour, they make out of that place, the taste is always different. And some people actually opt for Gari Jebu because the taste is like no other. I hope Gari Jebu makers will pay me for this advert. Now, what I'm trying to say is that you get a location, maybe a new location, and you're a lover of Gari Jebu or a lover of whatever kind of food, and you discover that it's not there. Why not think like a businessman? How can we start getting Gari Jebu or whatever it is that is lacking in that place? How can we start getting it down here? That's how business starts. I'm telling you. So starting a business or doing a business begins with having a business mindset, thinking like a businessman. A businessman thinks opportunities. A businessman thinks possibility. A businessman thinks solution. A businessman does not complain. Rather, he maximizes the same thing people are complaining about. He maximizes it for business success. So think like a businessman. I won't say beyond that today because I want that thought to register in somebody's heart. Think like a businessman. The next time you collect your salary, 20,000, 200,000, 1.5 million naira, 70,000, whatever amount of money you collect as salary, think like a businessman. This 200K, rather than changing my phone, can I invest it in a business? And what can I get out of it? The next time you think of buying a car, maybe a second car or whatever kind of car, as a businessman, you think, should I buy a Mercedes-Benz X-Class or E-Class? Or can I buy a space car, a wagon? That aside just driving the luxury car about, I can put this space bus or space whatever into business. I can do a car hire on it. Do you understand? It may not be every day, it can be every weekend. Somebody pick up my car, do long distance journey or whatever kind of journey we did, and 25K enters my hand in a weekend. That's how to think like a businessman. You are not thinking about spending, you are thinking about making money. When next your friends comes to share problems with you, or share challenges with you, or maybe brings complaints to your doorstep, why not see business out of those complaints? When next you enter your church as a pastor, don't just think in terms of ministry alone. Think in terms of business. How can we grow this church? How can we increase our relevance? How can we make profit for the kingdom? How can we grow from so number to another number? How can we make investment of our giftings, our graces, our talent, our anointings, our people to generate profit? That's how to think like a businessman. Can I encourage somebody today by saying that is the way God thinks? God thinks like a businessman. God thinks in terms of profit. So if you are not thinking like a businessman, you are not thinking in terms of profit, I wouldn't know if it is God you are following. Everything about God is business. How to make lives better, how to make profit, how to bring many sons unto glory, how to profit with the graces, with the giftings and the anointings of the Holy Spirit. So as you go into today or into this season, think like a businessman. And as you begin to think like one, opportunities to do business will start coming your way. Either to do business with your existing platforms or to generate new platforms for business success. And as you do that, irrespective of your sphere of endeavor, a career person, a businessman practically, a student, a pastor, a housewife, once you start thinking that way, you will discover that your life will experience a major shift and you will become better than you have been before. I hope today's episode of Leaders to Rise has been a blessing to you. Today we have just shared on having a business mindset. Think business, that's the topic. And I hope to continue this line of thought on business on the subsequent episodes of this broadcast. I need you to help me share this broadcast across all your social media platforms. Recommend this broadcast for a friend. We hold it on Mondays, on Tuesdays, and on Wednesdays and on Friday. If you have not liked or followed this page, go ahead to do that. And before I drop the mic right now, in the month of October, I'm hosting a mentorship school. All right, I call it School of Ministry and Leadership. You will see details of that scrolling on your screen. I encourage you to make up your mind to subscribe to that school, because for the first batch of the school, I'm only training 20 people. So hurry up while offer lasts. Thank you for your time with me today. I look forward to hearing from you, your questions, your comments, and your feedback. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye for now.